You want to know how fast I can move? It's a trade secret.
Hello, hello, Kyle. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Blackheart. L balance patch? Oh no, is it that bad? Is it bad, boy? Oh. Finally live. Yep, sorry guys. It's been a busy week. Had school stuff to do for the kids, and I had to go fist fight a salesman at a car dealership. You know, just typical Thursday stuff. So yeah, I couldn't do anything yesterday. It's mid. It does nothing. It's an L for sure. It isn't the worst by any means. 5 out of 10. You guys are getting me all excited to look at this balance patch. I'm telling you. Let me set some basic stuff out of the way. By the way, don't touch Guild Wars for right now. I hear it's all jacked up. People like losing tokens and stuff. Not exactly steering the most stable ship over there in Korea, are they? Oh, did DJB get some justice? That'll be nice. Okay, I think we're good.
What do I sell? Goodbye. I'll see you later, if you're still alive.
Lisa, oh, that Charles is on there? If they didn't make Charles an HP scaler, then he's still cooked. That's all I gotta say.
I have lots of good wares. Take your time.
I kind of like the notification center, not gonna lie. I know some people are hesitant about it, but I like being able to jump around. Screw Moonlight Theater, wanted poster, 2-day, Spirit Altar event, storage. Okay, nothing I care about. Let's get some background battling going. What am I needing the most on Reforged mats? They did not make him an HP scaler, so he's still garbage is what you're saying. Because there's no such thing as a non-HP scaling bruiser in this game that's functional at all, unless they have some major freaking gimmick. You know, maybe they gave him 70% evasion or something. Oh, this is good. Anyway, no spoilers, no spoilers. We'll jump in here in just a second, take a look. I just need to backpack. God, that's what I'm trying to find. How am I on Reforged mats? Enhancements. Really, Katie's. I am out of Katie's stuff. Okay, I guess we're gonna go background a bunch of Katie's. Battle. Hunt. Katie's. I don't even know if this team's set up yet. This team may not be set up right. Oh, well, it's really good for your skills to be off. Good job, Sinji. That's helpful.
May the holy light save us all. I will lend you the power to take another's life. All enemies will fall to my spear.
Blammo. Oh, good. Nice defense break. Good job, Camilla. Nice defense break. Good job, Sinji. You know, to be fair, they may not have any effectiveness on. Definitely don't have any ER on this Sinji. Is she even wearing gear? I haven't looked at my Katie's team in so long. This is such a mess. Nice Benimaru's Tachi. Are you even wearing Benimaru's Tachi? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do this the easy way. Who am I friendship farming? Friendship farm. Arunca. Oh, the new ML shoe that I got, right? The new rat. Where's the new rat? Well, the new rat's in storage because Smilegate doesn't give us enough space. Isn't that right? Yeah, 349. You know what? Let's throw some people in the waiting room. I told you they weren't going to buff Opzig. I told you. Everyone's like, surely it's Opzig's time. Like, how long did Fallen Cecilia have to go? How long did it take for them to finally pull the trigger on FCC? There's the rat. No, not statistics. There we go. And let's get the rat in. The new rat. And we'll just stick Fene in there to speed things along, I guess. Guaranteed free wins, right? All right, let's rat doing rat things. Surmia just carries it. Surmia can solo Hades. It's ridiculous. Slow, but I'm not in a hurry because we got some patch notes to look at. So let's go ahead and take a look at what amazing things Smilegate is bringing to us. Everybody's got me really hyped to look at this. Everybody's talking about what an insane patch it is, how this is going to change everything. And that was a lot of sarcasm. Not been reviewed very, very well. So let's jump in and see what is happening in the bounce patch notes for June the 5th. So 2 weeks from today, June the 5th, these patches go live. They are subject to change. They've changed them in the past, so I can't guarantee that this is the final form of the bounce patches. So if you decide to pull a unit or buy a unit or level a unit and then they change things, sucks. They're not going to give you a recall. Buyer beware. It's not set in stone until it is set in stone. Okay, balance adjustment. For fuck's sake. Sorry, guys. Be right back. I have been instructed to say that I am sorry. This is actually the best balance patch ever, and you should all be very hyped for it. That Desert Jewel Basar and Closer Charles are now the best units in the game. You should definitely spend money on the resources to buy this stuff, and I apologize for giving any implications, that's the word I'm supposed to use, to the contrary. I'm just kidding. That wasn't Smilegate, guys. So home office. Okay, so we've got Balance patch going live on June the 5th, and that means you've got 2 weeks to kind of absorb and decide whether or not these units are worth building or if this is a big old pass. Remember, though, that the shop where you can spend your galaxy coins to buy your Dragon King Shroon, to buy your Operator Sigret, to buy your Spirit Eye Selene, that is going away soon, so you'll need to make a command decision on if any of these changes give you pause or if you go ahead and go all in on the units. Now, I will tell you, Spirit Eye Selene is a strong RTA and Guild War unit worth having on your account. Dragon King Shroon is a little bit more niche, not as good unless you are maining Robin. If you use Robin a lot, Dragon King Shroon stocks shoot through the roof, and she is really, really good. And Operator Sigret, well, yeah, I don't see your name on this list, guys. I hate it. I hate it that I was right about this. I told you guys it was too soon, that they made Fallen Cecilia languish for months before they put her on the balance patch. And Operator Sigret, we just haven't been asking long enough. All right, so the heroes on this bounce patch, we've got Desert Jewel Basar, Strays, nice. These two both very much needed. Holiday Euphine, interesting. Taiwin, who's been buffed a couple of times now, I believe, and hasn't quite stuck with the community. Charles, hell yeah. Our posture's getting corrected again. I love seeing Charles. Fenris. So they did want to buff Fenris, but they buffed him in a lazy, crappy way to just be a silver bullet for Harsetti, and everyone hated it, so they rolled it back. Looks like they are going to try to buff Fenris again to be usable. General Pergus and Assassin Cartusia are the 4 stars. G-Perg used to be like a renaissance unit. You used him in Wyvern, you used him in anti-Zeotech and RTA, and he fell hard, like a meteoric fall. Assassin Cartusia is an evasion bot, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with the Fat Cats. And they're buffing Indestructible Gators and Glow Wings. Indestructible Gators is an interesting buff because this is a burn placing exclusive equipment, and we're in a meta where burns work with frenzy, so maybe they're going to make this thing a viable artifact. It's tough because warriors have such good artifacts. And Glow Wings, boy, that thing needed some help. So let's jump right in with Desert Jewel Basar. So we got a lot here on DJB. First is his Desert Wind ability. It used to recover health proportional to the target's max health and the caster's attack, and they're just changing it to the caster's health, which makes sense. Who in the frickin' world puts attack on Desert Jewel Basar? So, that's good, and they're reducing the soul burn from 20 to 10, so that's a pretty good heal boost, considering the soul burn is cheaper now. Not bad. A little something something for him. They're going to make him a stronger healer. Desert Storm used to have an 85% chance to blind for 2 turns, and now it dispels 2 buffs with a 100% chance to decrease combat race by 20%. Okay, so instead of just blinding the enemy, he's got a strip and a pushback. So on top of barrier inversion, you're going to strip buffs. Okay, I'm really glad they put before in there. I was looking for that. How bad would it be if he stripped the barrier and then there was nothing to invert? But yeah, they're inverting the barrier, and then he's going to strip 2 buffs on top of it, which really, if you think about it, barrier is usually a stackable buff, so it's kind of stripping 3 buffs because you're going to invert the barrier, making it go away, and then strip 2 more buffs. It's going to basically make him close to a full strip, and a 20% CR pushback is really nice. And Bastets Roar. So Bastets Roar, instead, a critical hit will grant 30% damage reduction to just if attacked. Oh, wow. So instead of a crit having a 30% reduction, they're just giving him a 30% reduction, which is going to help him versus, you know, all these pop damages, fixed damages, all these non-critting units that do tremendous damage. It's going to give him some built-in reduction. So they did pretty good by Desert, because Desert Jewel Basar, his biggest issues were he didn't have the stats to do what you need him to do. He wasn't fast enough. He wasn't tanky enough to survive. And they're making him tankier via damage reduction. They're actually turning him into somewhat of a decent Soul Weaver. They're giving him, I mean, who gives a rat's ass about blind anymore? They're giving him strips and combat readiness pushbacks. I think Desert Jewel Basar's buffs look pretty freaking solid. Oh, and they're changing him from a Sagittarius to a Taurus. I don't know that much about the differences in the signs. Who's a Taurus Soul Weaver? Give me an example of a Taurus Soul Weaver, because his stat line as a Sagittarius was always just not quite good enough. Ahmed? So that should make him faster. Okay, you know what? Pursue, it's a good change. Nice. Ahmed Moon Bunny. Okay. So 4 additional speed from being changed to a Taurus. Yeah, everything about this makes Desert Jewel Basar, and we're in a barrier spamming meta. And this guy's inversion, I think this is going to increase his usage. I think this is a successful balanced adjustment for Desert Jewel Basar. It doesn't make him broken, it doesn't make him meta bending, but it makes him very usable in the existing meta. I'm giving this buff a 10 out of 10. Good job on Desert Jewel Basar. Hey Joe, thank you for the raid, buddy. Let me give you a little shout out here. Thank you so much, man. I hope you had a really good stream. Welcome, Raiders. We were just talking about the bounce patch, which everyone was telling me this bounce patch is going to be terrible. That is a big old L, but Desert Jewel Basar looks like a really good W for him. It doesn't make him broken. It doesn't make him overpowered, but it makes him very usable in a barrier spamming meta. This is one of the best bounces I think I've seen in a long time. Okay, Strays, or as they say in Canada, Straze. Strays has fallen off a lot in PvP. He's still a PvE monster for hunts, but that's about it. So we are changing his S2 skill, Destructive Gaze, from just dispelling 2 buffs to dispelling all buffs. I'll be honest with you, I always kind of thought it was dispelled all buffs. But okay, so his S2 is more effective. He can do an AoE strip on his S2. That's going to help in somewhere, I'm sure, at some point in time. His big bang attack, Star Extinction. This is where he cuts the moons in half and kills everything. Penetrates the target with the highest max health by 30% when the caster's attack is greater than the target, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a whole freaking equation. They're just changing it to penetrates the highest health. I think this is kind of in line with the, making the skills a little bit easier to read. They said, we can't figure out how to word this in a coherent way that's easy to understand, so we're just going to eliminate it and turn him into Watcher Shuri against the high, except it's not selectable. It's against the highest target. So what does this do? This is going to let you use his big nuke skill on high attack, high health units, and there's not many of those out there. There's not many of them at all. I mean, I guess if you want to use Strays into Fire Ravi, that'll do something. There are some PvE things where tuning Strays is order, like in A13, you want to always make sure Strays went last, because if Watcher went first, dropped the nuke, and it made the boss go berserk, it raised the boss's attack enough that Strays wouldn't get the full penetration. So I guess it kind of makes that a little bit easier, but I really don't think this was done for any functional reason. I think this is done because of the quality of life text change, where they're trying to make the skills easier to read and understand. Because this doesn't do anything, really. I mean, it makes tuning your A13 one-shot slightly easier, and this is the most this is such a minor bump that I wouldn't even call it a buff. I would just call this like a cleanup of his text. It's easier to understand all buffs are gone. It's easier to understand he just penetrates highest health. So it's less reading. So I'm giving this one a 2 out of 10 because it does almost nothing other than make his skill set easier to understand. I think people who have strays that use strays are still going to use him the exact same way they always used. It's not going to change his place or usability in the game at all. This is bad. This is not a good buff. It doesn't damage him. It doesn't make him, you know, if I said 1 out of 10, that would mean it objectively makes him worse. But this is, we're giving this a 2 out of 10 just because it does absolutely nothing but make it easier to read his kit. And that's it for the MLs, guys. Yikers. Holiday Euphine. What are they doing to Thick Bathing Suit Dragon Lady? So, she has a 75% chance to burn on her S1 skill. Just 1 bite. They're changing it to a 100% chance. So they're stabilizing her burns. She will now always burn with her S1 skill, which is an AoE, by the way. So that's a lot of burns. So more consistency. Great. Let's eat together. So this is her passive skill. And in the past, it was whenever she was at max health, it gave her 35% evasion. Looks like they're changing it to when her health is 50% above, she gets the evasion. So, you know what this is really a buff for? This is a buff for guide to a decision. This will make that artifact a little easier to use on her. Okay, so she's got a little bit more evade, right? Even when she used to just have to nick her, even 1 health of damage, and she lost her evasion. Now she'll maintain her evasion through 50%, so I don't know why they didn't just say, just give her evasion. I don't know why they had to tie it. I guess. So she'll be 70% evasion for the first half of her health, and then only 35% evasion for the second half of her health. But I don't know why not just make her 70% evasion? Why not just pull the trigger? But I guess they're easing into the pool slowly with her. I'm not sure that having evasion while she is healthy is going to make that much of a difference. Okay, Euphine special. Her S3 skill, after it's awakened, she is going from a 20% combat readiness to all allies to a 25% combat race to all allies. Okay. She's better. Everything about it's better. Her burns are more consistent. She's got evasion. She's got sustainable evasion for the majority of her health instead of a minority of it. And her CR push is a little bit better. It makes her a better anti-cleave unit, right? The problem with this right here, with using her in anti-cleave, is if the person had 2 openers or an opener and a bridge, the first opener even just nicks her for 1 HP. Suddenly her evasion's gone. It's easier to deal with. Now she's going to evade more, make her a little bit harder to deal with, make her a little bit better anti-cleave unit, counter-cleave unit. The 5% CR push, I know it doesn't feel like much, but 5% is 5%. That's, you know, how many times did you just not cut by 2, 3, 4, 5% difference? It'll factor in. And having stable burns in a meta where we've got units that are detonating burns heading our way, I think this could make her functional and usable with Robin as well. But it's not super exciting. She's still going to be used in the same place as she was used. Yeah, good point, Kyle. 5% is almost a 10 speed difference when you're talking about a battle of openers. So it's going to make her a better counter-cleave unit. It's going to give her some synergy with Robin. It's not going to make her unstoppable or broken. I'm going to give this one like a 5 out of 10. I do think it's going to increase her usability. I'm just not sure if it's going to increase her usability enough where it's going to make people who weren't using her in the past start using her. It's just going to make her better in the role she's already good at. And that's fine. That's a decent balance adjustment, but it's nothing that I'm getting super excited about. It's a 5 out of 10 patch. It makes her objectively better, but it doesn't make her so good that people who didn't have her built are going to run out and start building her to test her out on test day. This isn't a unit you're going to see used on test day. It's one who's going to be used in the same place she was always used. Okay, what else we got? Taiwin. Oh my god. Tell me he has a S3 has a 100% hit rate. It penetrates evasion, because every time he shouts, I will never miss, and then misses, lose my damn mind. Attacks with Sword Storm. 75% chance to dispel 1 buff. We're getting rid of that and changing it to a 50% chance to increase a 2-turn defense break. So we're getting rid of his 1-turn debuff and replacing it with a 75% defense break. Hey, Phil Officer, thank you for the sub, buddy. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much.
Time for the baby. What do we name the red-headed child, Lul?
What? Are you having your baby now, man? Swordstorm's his S1 skill, right? It was the 9 months. I think these changes are just for Rift. Oh, you think Holiday Euphine is being changed just for Rift? Possibly. Okay, so I haven't used Taiwin in so long, I've got to actually look it up. Yep, it is. So attacks with Storm Sword, 75% chance to dispel 1 buff going away. So his S1 is no longer going to strip. We're giving him a 50-50 shot at doing a 2-turn defense break. You remember back when every single unit's S1 wasn't a defense break? That was fun. I'm not a fan of everything that throws an S1 defense breaking anymore, but it does give him a stronger S1, even though it's a 50-50 chance. Defense break is the strongest debuff in the game. Tactical command, so can shout and be activated every 2 turns. We're reducing the skill cooldown on tactical command, so he'll be able to use his be able to use his passive. So he's gonna be able to use his passive more often. That's it, right? We just gave him a faster cycle on his passive and a defense break on his S1. I mean, it's okay. It's gonna make him a little bit more usable, but I don't see this changing where he's being used. Yeah, it's a 2-turn defense break, but it's a 2-turn defense break. It's only a 50-50 shot. You can't really rely on it. Most 5-star, hell, 4-star units have a 75% chance to defense break. I'm kind of confused why it's only 50. Oh, wait. Exclusive equipment is being changed. Okay, so it's a 65% defense break. Okay, so he's got a 65% defense break on his S1 skill, and his shout command can be used more often. That's actually not bad. 65. I will take a 65% break over a 75% chance to dispel 1 buff. Let's be real. This is an improvement. So it's gonna make him a better support unit. He's still gonna be able to use his commanding shout, dispelling all debuffs from the ally in the back. I just don't know if it's enough to make people want to grab him and use him more often. It's definitely going to make him better, but I don't know if it's going to change his usability. Let's move down to... Oh, here he is, guys. This is the one we've been waiting for. Correct your posture. Charles, the one-time terror of RTA. The one that some of us still have, like, a little bit of PTSD. I got to sit up straight every time we talk about Charles, man. It's like, my posture's fine. Just calm the hell down, Charles. He went from a 60% chance. First, before we get into this, the big problem with Charles is he's a bruiser and he's an attack scaler, and that sucks. Attack-based bruisers don't work. The only way you can have an attack-based bruiser work in this game is if they have got some kind of major survivability gimmick. Ravi heals herself every time she attacks something. Violet is got tons of evasion and heals when he uses his S2. You know, there's always something that gives, or they have damage limit on them so that you can't kill them too quickly. There's always something about it. Otherwise, attack-based bruisers universally suck, and that is the fundamental reason why I hate seeing attack and HP on substats. They go together like pizza and eggnog. It's just not a good mix. So hopefully they made Charles into an HP or defense scaler. So before, he attacked with a giant sword, has a 60% chance to decrease attack for 1 turn, and a 25% chance to activate smash as an extra attack, and it's double, so it's a 50% chance when the enemy is buffed. They have changed it to as a 75% chance to dispel 1 buff. So they're getting rid of his attack down and replacing it with a strip, a 75% chance to strip. After attacking, has a 50% chance to activate smash, and when the caster has got 3 or more buffs, it doubles. So they're going straight in with the 50% chance, whether or not they're buffed. So they're making this as if the enemy is always buffed, and they're making it 100% chance if you go into an enemy that's got 3 or more buffs. Is this anti-synergistic? Attacks the enemy, strips a buff. After attacking, when there's buffs, doubles the chance. The way this is written, there's anti-synergy, right? Oh, I misread. Guys, I'm sorry. I misread this. When the caster has 3 or more buffs, not when the target. I'm used to it when the enemy was buffed. That's when the caster. Okay, so he strips, and as long as he's wearing 3 or more buffs, it's 100% chance. Oops. That was weird. And as long as he's wearing 3 or more buffs, it's a guaranteed to go into smash. So you've got to make sure you keep buffs on this guy. So if you're running on a buff-heavy team, you'll be able to slam Charles through with lots of extra damage. Okay, and that'll take him into smash, and they're changing smash that with a 100% chance to dispel all buffs. Damage dealt increases proportional to the number of buffs granted on the caster. They're changing it to, okay, they're giving him some lifesteal, and they're CR pushing, so they're not increasing the damage. So they have actually fundamentally decreased his damage, because I don't see anything that says damage dealt increases. So they've decreased the damage of this skill, but they're letting some of it go in as health and CR push. With more CR push here, so 15, 20% CR push, which is huge. So 20% CR push to your team, self-healing, and a nerf to the damage, because we're getting rid of the damage dealt increases. And he doesn't dispel all debuffs anymore. He just has a chance to dispel 1. So they've nerfed the shit out of Smash, right? I mean, they've gotten rid of the strip. They've gotten rid of a lot of the damage. And in exchange, you get some push and some self-healing. They're making him not a damage dealer anymore, huh? What's his S3 do? Attacks all enemies, grants counterattack. Why, if they're not going to make him a damage dealer anymore, if they're going to make him a support unit, then why are they giving him a counterattack buff? Well, I guess the counterattack buff, does this only happen on his turn after attacking? Doesn't say on his turn. So if he counters, he will attack into smash with the CR push. And he grants defense to all allies. Okay, so he attack buffs the team, he defense buffs the team, he establishes counterattack, and then when he receives a counter, he's going to do this, and the counterattack buff is just 1 additional buff. As long as you can maintain 3 or more buffs on him, he will always counter into smash, which is going to constantly push your team. Guys, I think it's not going to be the easiest thing to use, but I think you might be able to work this guy into a standard draft where he is going to really have to make your enemy consider whether or not they push buttons and whether or not they can keep him stripped. Because if you can keep the buffs on him, he's going to constantly slash into smash, pushing your team, getting counterattack buffs, attack buffing your team, defense buffing your team. Charles is no longer a damage dealing knight, guys. Charles is now a team support knight. He is a support, passively bridging unit to help move your team along, give you defense buffs, gives you attack buffs. There's a couple issues with all of this. First of all, nowhere in here is he an HP scaler. So along with his nerf damage, you might just have to give up on doing damage with Charles at all, because you need for him to be able to survive, take hits, to activate the counterattack, to push your team. You're going to have to make sure he does all of this stuff and survives while doing it. So you're probably going to have to strip away a lot of his damage. You probably have to get rid of crit chance, crit damage, and HP, because you're going to need him to have the bulk to survive, the speed to cycle these skills, and he's going to need ER so that he doesn't get stripped, because you got to have the buffs. This is going to be a very gear-hungry unit if you want to do any kind of damage. Yeah, protection set, sure. Protection set, immunity set, and then his counter buff, and then somebody else to keep some things on him. This is not your grandfather's Charles. This is a totally different unit, and the way he plays is going to be very different. And I think some chefs out there will be able to cook up some use for him once people wrap their brains around the fact that they have made him into not a damage dealer. They have made him into a unit that you're going to want. I mean, if you wanted to do damage with him, you would need every freaking stat in the game. It makes him too gear hungry. The gear score's too high. You're going to want him on effectiveness so that you can successfully do the strip. You're going to want to have him on effect resistance so he can successfully maintain the buffs. You're going to want him on HP and defense heavily so that he can survive. Probably more defense than HP, because he is buffing his own defense, and that will stack with the defense. And also he is self-healing, and healing based on damage scales better off defense. But if you don't have damage on them, you're not going to do a lot of damage. With this skill being nerfed, oh my god, it's so hard to do. So hard to do. This healing is going to be a little drop in the bucket unless you build him with damage. And if you build him with damage, he's going to be 2 glass. So close. They were touching greatness there for a minute, but I don't see it, guys. Somebody who really, really invests in this, maybe. And it all comes back to... Mort still exists. So counterattack is rough to use. Man, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Because I think the right kind of gear and the right kind of motivated person can maybe make some things happen with this. Can maybe, like, take it to the next level, but... I think the gear this is going to take is tremendous, and this team synergy it's going to require is rough, and I hate that they nerfed his damage. Where's the little thing here that just says damage is increased to make up for the fact that they're taking damage away? I guess they're saying, well, it's going to proc so often now that you get this that we had to nerf the damage because it's going to proc more often, which is a BS answer. I'm not thrilled with what they have done to Charles here. I think they did not do the old man justice. These buffs, I don't think, go far enough, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see how he performs on test day. Improved to make a more strategic use. I mean, that's true. Everything about this is building a team around him and around his skills. And they're changing some exclusive equipments. Increases the dispel buff by 75%, so we go to 100% chance to dispel a buff. Still a single strip, and increases damage dealt by smash. If you are going to go with the just the support version and say screw the self-healing, I don't care, I want to build them so I can use them to support my team, you go with the strip, and you build them effectiveness, effect resistance, HP, and defense, and nothing else. If you want to try to squeeze crit chance, crit damage, and attack into all of that, which is basically every single stat on the board. Name one unit in the game where you have to build every single stat. There aren't any. There's always like one stat that you can kind of like dial off of and not have to do it. But this, he literally needs every single stat. So, yeah. But if you want to try it, go for it. There you go. Arya does not really need attack, guys. Arya is a defense scaler. She doesn't really need attack. Attack doesn't hurt, but it's not required. With he's an attack scaler. With attack, it's required. Apoc Ravi doesn't need effectiveness. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. He doesn't need effectiveness. He's going to give up on the chance to strip a buff here. If you're going to, why are you getting this EE if you aren't going to build him for effectiveness? That doesn't mean he doesn't need it. That means you're just saying, well, I'll just not use part of his kit. I'll just abandon part of his kit, and that way I don't need effectiveness anymore. It's like saying he doesn't need crit chance, attack, and crit damage if you just want to build him as a support unit, because, you know, you don't really care about him self-healing. You just want to use him as support. So, see, he doesn't need all the skills because you don't have to build him attack, crit chance, and crit damage. I'm just going to abandon that portion of his kit, too, and make him not a damage dealer. So I'm saying, if you want to build him to the full use of his kit, you got to go nuts. Otherwise, you got to give up something. I'm 5 out of 10, Charles. 5 out of 10. Fenris. Okay. Mr. Harsetti counter. Then back to the pits with you. What did they do to Fenris? So, when it's the caster's turn, he gains 25 fighting spirit to just gains 25 fighting spirit. So, if you use Magic Arrow, he gets fighting spirit even when it's not his turn. So, dual attacks, counter attacks. Anybody building a counter set Fenris? Are they trying to convince us to put counter set on Fenris to stack his fighting spirit? I guess, yeah, Kitty Clarissa, right? Running him with dual attacking units like Camilla and Kitty and C Polly. Sure. Going from dispelling 1 debuff to dispelling 2 debuffs. Great. And Strike of Fate, his Big Bang attack. Increases the combat radius of all allies by 30%. So they're still trying to make him a Harsetti counter, huh? Will this still work as a Harsetti counter? He starts with 50. After he suffers an extra attack, counterattack, dual attack, gains 50 fighting spirit. He's going to gain 25 spirit when he counterattacks. Yeah, what if Harsetti puts a counter block on him though? I don't know, guys. Am I missing something? Because I really feel like this does almost as much nothing as this does, or as this does. Where did it go? Yeah, as this does. It does almost as much nothing as Strays' buff does. Maybe some people will cook up ways to use this, to use Fenris, but I don't think anybody's going to dust Elf Boy off the shelf to use with these changes. I feel like this is a direct attempt to work around Harsetti, but I'm not seeing how using counter or this additional fighting spirit gain on off attacks is really going to fix that problem. What are they saying? Fenris will be improved to perform more efficiently in situations where allies are frequently suffering extra attacks, counterattacks, dual attacks. Soaring Arrow Nova Wave will now spell 2 buffs. Additionally, Fate will combat race of all allies, help secure turns more easily. But if he's dead, you don't get that. And he's just going to die. 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 for Fenris. Unless I'm missing something big time, 2 out of 10. Okay, G-Perg, what did they do for you? Mows down the enemy with a great sword, 75% chance to provoke, going to a 100% chance to provoke. So, Okay, great. We got a 100% chance to provoke on his kit now. And command to charge, dealing damage, 100% chance to stun 2 random allies for 1 turn, has a 100% chance to inflict stun. Okay, so his command to charge is AoE. It used to only stun up to 2 allies. Now it has got a chance to stun everybody. So an AoE stun on his command to charge. Is that it? So he can provoke and stun more? But wait, there's more. Exclusive equipment. So they're getting rid of the moment the caster attack has a 20% chance to increase defense for 2 turns. They're changing that to recovers the health of the caster proportional to the max health when using heroic strike. Recovers the health of the caster proportional to his own max health when using heroic strike. Okay, so a little bit of self-sustain on him. We going with counter Pergus too? Is that the play? Are we doing counter General Pergus? Okay, so we give him some self-healing so that you could run him on counter set. Mort is still a thing, but you know, we can't always just say Mort's a thing. Mort's always going to be a thing. He is a warrior, so he has access to Sigurd's Scythe and Golden Rose, on top of being able to self-heal with Heroic Strike, and he provokes with an AoE stun. This could make him a reliable counter cleave unit again. People try to do something that's AoE based, and he'll counter and self-heal, pushing up the team. And the AoE stun is really nice for control when he takes a turn. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually pretty okay with this. It's not meta breaking. I do think it'll help him find some places. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 on the G perk buff. This feels very much like a buff that's designed to work with something that's yet to come. Spez friend got a buff, man, for all the nuns of people that use Specimen Says, right? Anya says, I predicted the Charles buff. You know what? You did, Anya. Credit where credit's due. You predicted the Charles buff. It should have been nice if you could have predicted a great Charles buff, but you did predict a Charles buff. That buff is wild, Nola. It was a lot to unpack. Okay, so 7 out of 10 on Perg. He will be good for counter cleave, and you might be able to work him into some standard comps here and there, especially control-based. Assassin Cartusia, the Fat Cat. Fat Cat has a 75% chance to provoke, and much like Pergus, the Fat Cat is getting a 100% chance to provoke. And he is being turned into an HP scaler. All of his damage is HP scaling, so why? Fat Cat took Charles's buff. It took Charles's buff. All they needed to do was give Charles this line right here. Or even Defense Scaler. Defense Scaler would be even better on Charles since he buffs his defense now. Okay, so this is actually pretty nasty. Here, check out my Fat Cat, guys. My Fat Cat is on like crappy loner gear, and he still has 23,000 health. Can drop the attack even more. Pump that up to 30k health. We'll have to see what his multipliers are, but you can run a freaking thick Fat Cat on protection set, get the evasion from him, get the boost from health from him, or the boost from being an HP scaler on him, having his HP run all the way up, and have the evasion naturally on there, have the provoke on there, and the whole host of warrior artifacts, including one that stuns. This annoying SOB is probably is going to give cleavers yet again more of a pain in the butt. And it might be just enough if they make him good, if they make him usable. It might be just enough to bring evasion-based units back into play. Remnant Violet, Holiday Euphine. It might have enough of a little something something that, although it doesn't look like that much on paper, it might bring other people back into the game. So good buff, because it's the first buff that's made me think, how could this be used with other units? How could this be used to create new teams and new synergies and some comps that I didn't use before? 9 out of 10 buff for Assassin Cartusia. It doesn't make him broken. It doesn't make him mind-bendingly insane, but it does make him very usable, and it gives you a chance to build some new teams around it. So it's got potential. It's got some legs. So let's see how it does. See how it goes. So yeah, I'm about it. I like Fat Cat's buff. Okay, artifacts. Indestructible Gators. If a non-critical hit is made while attacking with a single attack, and they're just getting rid of the phrase with a single attack. Is this for Holiday Euphine? Right? This is for Holiday Euphine, so her AoEs can burns as well. But wait, it's still if it's a non-critical hit. There's nothing up here that said she doesn't crit, right? Dual attack, combat ready. Now, how are you gonna not crit with Holiday Euphine? Even if you build her with no crit, she's gonna crit 15% of the time. Just don't crit. Yeah, just don't crit. Stupid. Why? Why? What's the fucking point? Smilegate, what is the point of having this phrase in here? Would it have broken the artifact so much? Would suddenly warriors being able to put one burn on things with AoEs been a problem? If you said it works on crits too? This is dumb. This is dumb and I hate it. Okay, so Indestructible Gators now works AoE, and if you can manage to build a Holiday Euphine with no crit at all, it'll work 85% of the time. Yay, 15% in PvP. We love it. I'm not sure that this is worth it for her, unless maybe it's to help out with maybe it'll help out with Rift, right? Maybe it's just a buff to make Rift easier. But the fact that they left this in here makes it a 1 out of 10 buff. And I know, I'm breaking my own rules. It does make it objectively better, and when I say 1 out of 10, it should make it worse. But I'm still going to give it a 1 out of 10 because it's stupid. And Smilegate, stop being stupid. This is stupid. You're better than that. Don't do stupid stuff. This needed to go away. I can think of no unit in the game that suddenly becomes unhinged and broken because you added a burn to its kit when it AoEs. Especially warriors. Smilegate's calling me now because I called him stupid. Hang on a second, guys. I've been instructed to apologize for calling Smilegate stupid. They know exactly what they're doing, and the fact that I cannot see the brilliance behind their genius move on this buff is all my fault, not Smilegate's fault. So be excited about Indestructible Gators when it appears in the powder shop. Make sure you buy a powder pack and buy this artifact because it's insane. Moving on. Glow Wings. After using a non-attack skill, grants barrier equal to 10 to 20% of the caster's max health for 2 turns. And they're changing it to granting a barrier equal to 30 to 60 per level to all allies. So 60 per level. Your max level is 60. So a 3,600 health barrier. It's not a very big barrier, right? 3,600 health. How much is 20% of the max health? You would have to be 18,000 health to have a 3,600 HP barrier. Guys, is this shit? This seems to be like, yeah, it's like for low HP rangers who want a barrier. Low HP rangers who want a barrier that also use a non-attack skill. What ranger needs HP? Sea Phantom Politis. So yeah, if you're 18k HP, this is a push. It does nothing. But if you're lower than 18k HP, this is better. Although it's 3,600. Period. End of story. If you're over 18k HP, then this is a nerf. Who would use this, guys? Who would use this artifact in general? Hellion Lua? Hellion Lua has way more than 18k health. Sea Phantom Poly? Most Sea Phantom Polys have over 18k health. Most. Not all, but most. Anybody else? Any other rangers that might use this? Blue Flan? For all the nuns of people that still use Blue Flan? For all the nuns of people that use Blue Lua? Like, you guys keep using these words like they're real units. Leica, Lua, Flan. You say real words. Say real words. Stop making up words and pretending they're units. Furious. Okay, I'm done. Oh my god. So these bounces are scheduled to hit on the 5th, guys. We'll closely monitor feedback from our players on various channels. We're great. Remember, guys, say your piece. They have changed things before, and they can change them again. I strongly recommend anybody who is planning on building, buying, or upgrading based on this to be aware that they can have and will change things last minute, and that doesn't mean they owe you anything. So be careful that you invest heavily before it's actually in game. So Desert Jewel Basar is the big winner of the bounce patch. I think it does make him significantly usable. Strays is a sideways push that just makes his kit a little easier to understand, but does nothing for him in the game. Holiday Euphine. I don't know why they can't just give her the evasion and let her be a functional bruiser unit, but it does make her a little bit better. Some people are saying that her change is just for Rift. I guess we'll have to see on that. Taiwin does seem to be objectively an improvement for Taiwin. I'm not sure if it's enough to change his utilization. I think people that already lean heavily on and use Taiwin a lot will be happy for the change because it does cycle him faster. Getting a defense break is nice. Charles is the wild card here. His buff looks to me like they're trying to make him not be a damage dealer anymore. They're trying to say just skip attack, skip crit chance, skip crit damage, ignore the fact that he does a little bit of healing, and build him as a support unit. as a passive bridge, get counter set on him and use him to constantly move your team, buff your team, strip the enemy, all of those things. Build him effectiveness, effect resistance, HP, defense, and then just use him as a cornerstone to run your team over. I think if you do that, he's going to find a place, but anybody that wants to try to build this guy for damage is going to find that his kit does so much that it does nothing, right? It's jack of all trades, master of none in every sense of the word. He's just going to be too hard to build and use in any meaningful way like we used to use him. Fenris, I don't understand Fenris's change. It looks like an attempt to make him a Harseti counter, but it's a, you know, I guess they didn't want to draw too much attention to that. I don't really feel that Fenris is going to see any change whatsoever in the game. General Pergus's buffs look decent for anti-cleave. I'm not going to lie. 100% chance to stun. The self-healing on his S1, the 100% chance to provoke. I think we're going to see General Pergus being used a lot more in anti-cleave. So once again, cleavers take one to the chin. And the same with Assassin Cartusia. He is going to allow people to maybe run more evasion units and get the benefit out of him, because now he's an HP scaler, so you can stack HP and actually do some damage with the Fat Cat, having 100% chance to provoke with the Fat Cat. So yeah, high HP damage dealing Fat Cats on protection set or even destruction set might make an appearance. So the 4 stars, they did okay on the 4 stars. Indestructible Gators is a edit this part out later, is a stupid thing, and Smilegate should be embarrassed for doing such a stupid buff. Why not just let it work on crits? Stupid. Maybe it'll have some use in maybe it'll have some use in the up and coming Rift, but I don't think it's going to change that much. I hate that you have to make sure you don't build her crit. You have to strip all of her crit away to use this artifact, to use her in conjunction with Robin. And Glow Wings is a really good artifact for the future Ranger who's not released yet, that needs barriers, does a non-attack skill, and has low HP. Once that Ranger comes out, then I'm sure Glow Wings will find a home. Surely in a few weeks they're going to drop a unit. We're all going to go, of course! This is the best in slot for the new Ranger Genesis Ross, right? Yep. Okay, guys, we're closing in on the E7 World Cup season, and they've done this in the past where they don't want to shake things up too much for the start of the World Cup when they're going to drop the qualifiers and people are going to try to get into the E7 World Cup. They don't want to, you know, they want everybody to bring their A game and not have to be reeling from and changing their accounts to get ready for the World Cup. So maybe that's the reason, or maybe I'm just making excuses for them. Maybe I'm being a balanced team apologist here, but we've seen this happen around World Cup times before, where they have put out a where they put out a lukewarm balance patch that doesn't really change much of anything, because they don't want to change things when they're getting ready to roll into a big event. And that's really, I think that's really the tagline of this entire balance patch. This changes nothing. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care, Epic 7. DJ Basar's pretty cool. DJ Basar's pretty cool. I really think some people might try to cook with Charles, but they're going to have to use Charles in a completely different way. And the cats, they did pretty good by the cats. Check out your Charles. Yeah, and he just dies. Yeah, he's too glass, man. He's just going to die. At that speed, he's just going to die. Yeah, it's not enough ER. He's not tanky enough to be at 109 speed to be any kind of a bruiser. He's going to do significant damage, but yeah, he's just going to die, man. I think the way to build them is you drop all the crit chance, you drop all the crit damage, you drop all the attack. You go 30 by 20 and maybe slap 30 to 50 effectiveness on them too. And maybe even consider a counter set at this point. Or yeah, or you go the other direction and you run him wicked fast, and he's just so that he can get off his defense buff soon, because he's going to need that defense buff to survive. I don't know, man. He takes so much gear. It's gonna be so hard to build this guy, but maybe you'll make him work. Maybe you'll make him spin like that. I don't know. So, did they fix Arena yet? Let's build those cats. ML Aria will help gear these. Everybody's talking about ML Aria like she's going to change anything. Like, you really going to third pick Ban Protect ML Aria unless you're running a full ER team? And if you run a full ER team, then I just pivot into things that don't really care about debuffs. And I just nuke and destroy your Aria. Because how are you going to hide Aria behind a Runka if I just ban your Runka and then I one-shot your Aria? I'm just going to come out and say it, guys. I'm going to come out and say it. I don't think Aria's good. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I know everybody's all excited about her. She's a fan favorite and everything. I think she is a bad unit. I think her passive is insane, but if you look at the rest of her kit, it's mid as hell, and I think she's not going to do very good. How's an ER scaler not OP? She's not an ER scaler. She just ramps up ER. She doesn't do damage based on ER. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but the more I'm thinking about, the more I'm thinking, where am I going to use this girl that she is going to be not just get killed? 100% cost of soul burn. 100. No, yeah, the soul. You know, she does impact souls. Sure. She is definitely a kick in the teeth of cleavers. But she's also bannable. She impacted my soul. We'll know when she comes out. We'll know when she comes out. But I'm just saying, everyone's talking about her like she's the second coming of ML Luna, and she does have a couple of things in common with Luna. Don't get me wrong. She definitely has a couple of things in common with Luna. 2 massive similarities to Luna. What were we talking about again? Her kit. I'm not entirely sure her kit is really going to be all that, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I am by no means an RTA expert. I know just enough to be dangerous, but yeah. I'm going to wait for the elf mages of the world to try her out. I'm going to wait for the Valkyries of the world to try her out. I'm even going to wait for the Sues of the world to try her out. Before I marry myself to the statement, right? I didn't think that I thought Bystander Hua Young was gonna be the most broken thing ever, and she's only just really, really, really good. I've been wrong plenty. I thought Karena was garbage. I thought Abyssal Euphine wouldn't be that great, and to this day she's still one of the 3 strongest knights in the game. So yeah, I've been wrong before. Not a lot, just like all the time, but not a lot. Just ask my wife. I'm wrong all the time. So maybe she'll be great, but the more I look at her kit, the less impressed I am by it. ML Hua isn't good. I hear more and more people saying she's meh. She has the Faithless Litica problem, Loki. If you've got the gear to build her and you know how to play her, she wins games. Like, all the time. All the time. But if you do not have the gear to build her and you don't know how to play her, she just stinks up the joint. Yeah, what Harl said. She's really good for the top 5% of players, which you can say the same thing about Faithless Litica. If you don't have the tools or the talent to use her, she is more of a cudgel than a scalpel. Are we safe to do Guild Wars yet? Or is it still all fuckered up, and if I go into a fight, I'm wasting my token? Guild Wars is fine now? Okay. We're using Arya on the top team, right? No? Really? We're not using Arya? Really? 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 Freaking Evan. Evan and his freaking Dark Corvus. Go get him, Evan. I am surprised that we're not using the Arya team. But it is Silverblade Aramentha, guys. Okay. We can't not use the redheads. We can't not use the redheads. Silverblade Aramentha, get your asshole in here. Tell me if I'm wrong, Tristen. I think Sea Poly and Janua destroys ML Arya. We'll have to see on testing day, man. It's a very unique, different, and new kit, and I don't want to go making rash decisions, especially since we've got like 230 people just on the Twitch side alone watching, and a lot of times people take what streamers say as gospel, and I did not burst fully formed from the head of Zeus knowing everything about E7. We have all been wrong. And anybody who says, well, XYZ streamer said this unit is bad/good, so I am believing that and taking that as gospel, is really making a mistake. Until test day is out, we really don't know. There were streamers out there who insisted that one of the worst units in the game, one of the easiest to solve units in the game, was this one right here. That she literally had a whole host of counters and anybody could beat her. And you know what? Turns out he was dead freaking wrong. I was telling everybody, it sucks that they made the last of the Espa units to be released the worst one. Why would they save the worst for last? Why would they give us the most useless of the 4 units out there? Exclamation point song, meow. And it turned out that she's the only one that was so good that she lasted 3 years after the collab. She's still usable. So, yeah. Sometimes we're just wrong, and that's okay. What were we doing here? Oh, yeah, Flan. Yeah, I can do Flan. We'll use the nuclear Flan. Nuclear Flan, where are you, girl? This one? Yes. And this is the right Harsetti, right? Yeah, that's the right one. No, Ning Ning was the strongest of the Espa units at the time. She's the one we all thought was the best. It was between her and Winter. People like got into online arguments over who was better, Ning Ning or Winter. And I was over there defending Giselle. I actually did like RTA where I was just cleaving with Giselle left and right. None of us gave a rat's ass about Karena. And then she turned out to be the best one of the batch. Guys, don't fight over Bystander Hua Young. You're not going to impress her. She's got a thing for me. You'll have to go find someone else to flex and impress of in front of her. But, yeah. Look at this gear. Look at this stat line. It doesn't look that great, does it? It doesn't look like that impressive a stat line. Try to build it. Try to build this stat line. I'll wait. Dang, that's a scuffed Hua. Build this Hua, Loki. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Counter, pen set, build this Hua and send me a screenshot. It's actually wild stats. 98, 103, 99, 100, 97. The boots are the only thing that are close to crap, and that's because of the flat attack on them. She is a very, very hard unit to build. And that's her biggest problem. It's the Faithless Litica problem. She's very, very good. Yeah, I can only build her on Destruction set. Not an easy unit to build. What you got? Yeah, yours looks just like mine, but 40 speed slower. 47 speed slower. And that 47 speed is pretty freaking impactful, right? That's 47 speed is what? Almost 80 gear score difference? Tough unit to build, guys. Very tough unit to build. And I'm not trying to, like, you know, gear shame anybody or anything. I'm just trying to, you know, point out why my Hua Young barely scratches the surface of being good enough to be used in Emperor Plus level gameplay. And that's why a lot of people, they pick this unit, they build this unit, they watch the elf mages of the world go out and murder stomp people, and like, I can do that too. And they're like, wow, she just doesn't kill anything, does she? Bad unit. And their win rates plummet, and they talk shit about her. And that's true. If you don't have the gear, you can't use this unit. Just like Faithless Litica, where if you don't have the gear, you can't use this unit. And I don't have the gear right now. She's about 40 speeds slower than where she needs to be to use this unit successfully. Top model Lulica is another one. There are certain units, there's a lot of units where it's like, if you don't have the gear, you can still use the unit, right? For example, oh, perfect, right here. Apocalypse Ravi. Crappy build, she still works. Crappy build, she still works. With better gear, she works better. With stronger gear, I have a higher win rate. But with intro level gear, I can still successfully use her. It's not like this use threshold where she drops off a cliff at a certain gear score. But Hua Young, top model Lulica, Faithless Litica, they have a gear threshold where if they don't have a specific quality of gear, they're not a usable unit. And that's that leads to some confusion when people are looking at whether or not to build a unit, because other people, like, everybody says Flitica is bad, but I'm watching Light E7 cleave the shit out of people with Flitica and just like running them over. And I'm hearing other people saying that Flitica cleave is the hardest cleave to fight against. Well, yeah, if you've got the gear to make it, she's a big part of one of the most debilitating cleaves out there, one of the hardest to counter cleaves out there. But if you don't have the gear to make that happen, it ain't gonna work. So yeah, that's my take on it. And that's my take on Hua Young, is that she is really, really good if you're a 1%er. And if you're not a 1%er, you stick her in your storage. You're missing 8 speed. You're missing 8 speed, Loki. Scuffed Hua Young. Nice try, though. If you had 8 more speed, we could talk. Good job, man. Wait a minute. Yeah, counter pen. Good job, man. You pulled it off. What stats do I need to focus on Peara? Speed. Speed and some effectiveness. A little bit of HP is nice if you can pull it off. If not, don't worry too much about it. But, you know, just want to make sure she goes first, and that she's got the effectiveness to do her things. Some people will run her slower and tankier, and that's fine too. You got 400 more HP than me. 400 more HP. That 400 more HP is like 6 gear score, but 8 speed is like 16 gear score. Just say you can't do it, Loki. Just say you can't do it. All right. Let's kill this team. Let's get you on a artifact. I didn't just take your... Okay, good. Is ML Luna still good? Yes. Arguably, definitely one of the top 10 units in the game. Don't say Loki's got a good point. His head is already really big. He'll break chat if it gets any bigger, guys. What's this? Hey Loki, he's got 1 more crit damage than you do, and 1,000 more health. And he's not even a max artifact. Malfunction, that's a really nice wall. It's a really nice wall. Okay, enough yapping about Hua Young. I think the point has been made though, is that all the people putting up pictures of this Hua Young, she ain't the easiest thing in the world to build, is she?
It's funny, really. The family.
If I see Mort in PvP, what do I need to counter him? You can't counter him. Mort blocks counter. We're gonna fight Mort here in just a minute. We'll get the skill and all up, I guess.
I'll have to warm up.
Get him! Pop.
What worthless little creatures.
Ow. Oh, come on.
Would you go ahead and die?
Who was that? The goddess?
100% counter rate, everybody.
Hold on. Don't go flying off on me now.
Ow. Not my face.
Now, who first? I'll erase your existence. This is a waste of...
Worked out pretty good, guys.
I don't care for amateurs.
14k Arunka. It's a damage Arunka.
My heart is pounding.
It's time to show you what I've got.
You're not going
Anyway, prepare yourselves. It's time for fireworks. Stop it, Tristen.
First come, first serve.
Good lord, stop it. Every time I've hit her where she hasn't been stunned, she's countered. She died of the plague. Asscat is a warrior. Yes, yes, yes.
All your foolish choices.
Okay, we're fighting Mort.
I can't do it alone. We can do it together.
I'm still saving Moonlight Pulse for ML Rose. You really think we're actually getting Wretched Rose? I love it, man. I love seeing a man of infinite faith. I'm pulling for you, Husky. I'm pulling for you. This won't do enough damage to him to activate her, right? I don't know. That's... I don't want to risk it. Defense break. Ah, resisted.
So this should be enough. Kindly scoot out of here. An enticing little
She on Holy Sack, right? She's probably on Holy Sack, isn't she? She's not on Holy Sack, and Mort's on Warhorn. Hey, Loki, thanks for the sub, buddy. I take it all back, man. Your head is perfectly normally sized.
I told you, this is
My ego isn't big at all. Trust me. I
Ow.
checked myself.
Ow, stop!
Care for
Stop! No! Dragon Granny, no! Oh my god, frickin' Mort doing Mort things.
Let us begin.
That barrier screwed me. God damn it. She was dead if it wasn't for that barrier. Nice venom. You gonna stun me with this one here? AoE stun, of course, of course. Did I call that stun or what? Why was Valencia only 23k health? Because she's an injury set, Valencia. Oh my god, am I going to lose this?
You really have no tact.
Freaking die, Mort.
When you're fighting it, you've already been reeled in.
No, I'm not going to lose because I can one-shot Mort because my Flan is a monster. And he put Warhorn on her for some reason.
You can leave now, right? I'm still on vacation, you know.
When exactly is planned? Okay, I'm not sure why, but I'm supposed to tell Loki that his head is perfectly the right size and his ego is intact. So, didn't know you had a relative that worked for Smilegate, man. It's what they told me to say, Cub. I don't, I didn't want to pry. I didn't want to know. Oh, let's kill this. Let's be risky with the top team because we can afford to lose one and still drop the tower. Ooh. And this nonsense. You to Miki the bottom? Yeah, okay, sure. Loki's head is fine. I can go, it can go between Firewall's thighs. Ross, you just became Loki's best friend. How does the new Charles compare to designer Lilibet? They look completely different. You cleave the bot. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Guys. I like what Dub is cooking because it's more chances to use SBA, and that team was fun. So we just use SBA, and we use Blooming Lytica, and we use Hosheter. We use the slow injury one again. Get him. Yeah, AssCat on defense is going to be freaking annoying.
You outlived your usefulness.
Outlive your usefulness.
Now rest in peace.
Oh no.
Would you like to feel what I'm feeling? ecstasy of fruitful blooming. I wish you could feel it too.
They get on my nerves. I've got to remove them. Be prepared.
Damn.
What worthless little creatures. I don't care for amateurs.
I'm so thirsty lately.
Show me what you've got. Until everything burns.
Mercy is too good to
Uh-oh.
for the likes of you.
This blade
We might have a problem, guys.
So I'll become ash.
Rip.
What the? Is this a flower?
You don't
What is it
deserve
doing
my
here?
mercy.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm just going to have to uninstall and reinstall it. I have no idea why TTS is broken.
Now that you know my secret, I can't let you live.
Be careful not to get a sunburn. I present to you.
It's okay.
The finest water park.
Now who's up for an experiment?
Because you're probably on proof. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Case you're tanky. Let's feed you one.
Now that you've met me, you worth
Now
my
everything's
favor.
dead.
Shouldn't you
YouTube
return
just
to me?
confirmed ML Aria is called malaria. Nice. Okay, tower down. One more. Okay, this one we can't F around with. Yeah, we aren't doing that again, Dub. Just because our units are dead. What do you think? Rowana, Destina, Ruel. Who do we think's good for the back? Oops, that would have been dumb. Ah. SSB? Think we have enough sustain with SSB though? I mean, injury, damage. He's got no healing whatsoever. Arya eventually takes them out. Fallen Cecilia would make me tankier. How do you build Silverblade Aramentha? Shit tons of effectiveness and speed. Go. Yeah, she's got Fairy Tail on. She built decently. Not great, but good enough. My Ruel is in shambles, though. What do you think? Shamadra, Ice Crystal. My Luna's speed 307. Water's origin. What do you guys think? Shamadra? Yeah, we can go with Shamadra. I think I've got a plus 21 here somewhere. Don't I? No way. Is my Shamadras all plus 15? I guess they are. Okay. Swipe that one. All right. Let's go.
Foolish choices have led you to despair.
Glory be with us.
Don't counter me.
Allow me to show you.
Who's the king of these streets?
The promises of this spear
Every time, right? Every time.
be forgotten. You fool. Do not stand back.
Listen when I ask nicely. Thank you for the support. I'll try my best.
Smack.
Would you go ahead and die?
I'm not afraid. I wish for a miracle.
Smack.
The greatest
Murder penguin.
requires sacrifice.
Guard down. First count, first serve.
Ow. Smack. Almost gotten rid of the hit Harsetti. Nice.
Guard down. Let's ride. You'll be dealt with by the law.
Who is it that said I was like crazy for recommending Arya to players, that she's just not a very good unit?
May the light guide us.
Crazy.
Guard down.
You haven't heard of shadow elves.
Sorry. Guess I'm going.
Would have worked. It would have worked without her artifact too. It would have just taken longer.
What do you know about me? For the sake of peace, I'll be the villain I have to be.
Yeah, there's nothing exciting about Arya to use.
The water slide is this way. Always visitors.
Calm down, chat. I see what you're starting to type there. Restrain yourselves. Yeah, Ainz' artifact works good on her.
Mediocrity you couldn't possibly comprehend.
Most likely on Holy Sack, so we'll give you one. Kill everybody.
It's boring. This way is more fun.
Good night, sweetheart.
It's over already. Looks like the rest of my day is free.
There's no chat on screen right now. We can type whatever we want. I mean, chat's right over here. Just right over here. There. The best revenge set piece ever, guys. You know why this is the best revenge set piece ever? Because this is our first 25 speed piece. Y'all gonna be here for it. First 25 speeder right here. Let's go. First, it's just going to be a really nice 22 speeder now. 22 speeder. Next time. Chat, you guys didn't believe hard enough. Where's this going to go? Maybe possibly use this in places that, okay, you know what? Actually, show me crit damage. It's okay. If we hit attack again, it's actually got some spots I can use it. Show me attack. How about that, guys? How about that? It'll find a home somewhere. As opposed to this, which can die in a fire. Put that on Arunca? Yeah. It goes on my green Arunca. I'm farming my green Arunca right now, man. You laugh, but take a look at that. She is, she's right here getting swole. Best Arunca worlds. Wonder what happened to my other Arunca. What do you guys think happened to my other Arunca? Do I have another Hua? No. I think all of my Huas went into Dark Hua, and then I think I had one extra Hua to go back into my current, into my other Hua Young. I'm gonna show off your Hua Young, Loki. She's gonna be featured in the Katie's team. You watch. I'm gonna make it happen. We'll try to have that guide up this weekend, the Katie's Hunt guide. Try to get that knocked out. Tough, no refunds. Fake redhead enjoyer? Are you kidding me? You not see my lobby? I love how Hua leans in and is eavesdropping on the conversation that's happening over here. Why do I keep my pets in a burning village? So you can go now into the side stories. And you can activate in episode 4. Is it here? No, it's in Book of Memories, isn't it? Yes. Yes, you can go and spend 900 Sky Stones and activate this Book of Memories story. And you can meet this asshole right here. See this rabbit? This rabbit is a dick. This rabbit pissed me off so much in this story, being an obnoxious asshole, that I decided the best thing to do was to take that rabbit, put it in the middle of a burning village, and surround it by predators. And I'll just enjoy sitting here watching the rabbit look nervously from side to side while it's surrounded by barking dogs and wolves. Bad Bunny. Poor rabbit. You have not read that story, ProCube. If you had, you would know that that rabbit is a dick. That rabbit knows exactly what it did. For real though, my wife asked the same question. I gave her the same answer, and she just looked all sad with, "Poor bunny." So I might have to take the rabbit out of the burning village sooner or later. Ew. Show me some good stuff. Some good stuff. I'm not kidding. We're saving our luck. We're saving our luck for Robin. Don't believe that rabbit lies. Sad I didn't get to spend my carrots.
What do I
Speaking
say?
of rabbits.
Well,
Somehow
goodbye.
that's that rabbit's
I'll
fault
see you
too.
later, if you're still alive.
All right, guys. Anything else you guys want to see, do, or experience before I wrap things up? And I've got so many emails. You saw the phone calls. Only like 4 of those phone calls were from Smilegate directly. The rest are actual customers. So I got to go do some stuff. Have you done the Nightmare Labs? I haven't. I was going to try to do a free-to-play Nightmare Lab team, but maybe I'll do that next month. But I do have some Nightmares Labs still to do. What's a good team to farm the Ruel cookies? It's kind of annoying. Oh, this, right? Showdown Fields. Is this what you're talking about? The Ruel cookies? Do you have... Were you here for the Overlord collab? Do you have Eins Ulgon? If you got Eins, it's crazy fast. But other than that, you either want to use a unit that restricts and then a lot of crit, or use units that don't crit. Do you have... Do you have Green Senya? If you have Green Senya, she's really good on it. Especially with her artifact, no crits, pop damage. Solid. Feels like a freak accident when the Eins is useful. Was so good. What's a good team against Holy Sack, Illy, Barunka, Renak? Oh, for Guild Wars? Holy Sack, Illy, Barunka, Renak. Arya, FCC, Christie, press auto. Most hated unit in E7? Unit I don't like. Yeah, try it. Try Arya, FCC, and Christie. Just go nuts on them. Most hated unit. I don't even hate the rat, although she torments me the most. Yeah. I think it's her. I do not like her. I do not like what she's done to the game, what she's done to the meta, what she's done to the community, what she's done to the enjoyability and playability of the game. Don't like her. Now, if you're talking lore-wise and aesthetic-wise, oh, hell yeah, all day long, Harsetti is on my top 5 most liked lists, but I think she's probably one of the biggest mistakes Smilegate ever made, and that is a high bar to clear. She gets the job done. All right, guys. Think of last minute things you want to see while I check with Smilegate once this time. Leave me alone today. Harsetti is worse than AOL. AOL was annoying as hell in our time, but yeah. Harsetti is, she is such a problem. I don't know what they're going to do with her. I really don't know what they're going to do with her. Are you freaking kidding me? Guys, be right back. Oof. All right. I guess if they recalled her, see, it is so difficult. I mean, you're talking about a nerf on an ML5 involving a recall, compensation. You're talking about 6 figures worth of profit loss to do that. It would financially damage their company. The last time they did an ML5 recall, it damn near ended the game. It's not just oh, just do it and things will be better. It's like, no, do things. Our bottom line crashes. Our shareholders freak out. Community gets all upset. Look how bad things were when they nerfed Hua Young. Half of the community lost their ever-loving shit about it. Even though almost everybody thought that unit needed nerfed, when they finally pulled the trigger, half of the community gave them crap about it. What ML5 did they recall? Back in 2019, they did it for Arbiter Vildred, Silverblade Araminta, and Sage Ball and Sazan. And it damn near ended the game. So yeah, it's not something they take lightly. And nerfing an ML5 is a huge, huge deal. The way Epic 7 does recalls. And saying, well, they just have to do recalls differently. They won't, though. They've set a precedent and they're going to stick to it. Yeah, 2019 was a crazy time. Mo World. I'll tell you that story some other time when I've got more time, but that was a crazy story. All right. Yeah, they nerfed them because if you didn't have the units, you couldn't play the game. They were that strong. So they will never nerf a unit? No, they nerfed Hua Young, but they always save it for an absolute last resort. They have not nerfed a single banner pullable 5-star unit other than Hua Young since 2019. They always try to find other ways around it. We don't feel it's the best policy. We think that these kind of games need nerfs to maintain balance because the only alternative is power creep, and they're starting to run into that right now. So that's an ongoing problem for Smilegate, but it's like screaming at a wall, convincing them to do it. So not my circus, not my monkeys, guys. Hua was meta for a year. She wasn't just meta. She was unbeatable. Elvira, no. Elvira was an adjustment. That was an interaction that wasn't supposed to happen. You could call that a nerf if you want, but that was an unexpected interaction that broke the game. That's different than saying this unit's ruling the game and has unbalanced everything, so we need to go into her kit and break it. But yeah, you could technically say Elvira, and I do think they did a recall for her, did they not? So yeah, you could qualify that, but I think that was just, I don't know. I think fixing an unexpected game interaction. When they built her kit, they didn't say, and Prophetic Candlestick's going to be best in slot on her. It's going to make her amazing. It was totally unexpected and a real sign that they don't heavily test a lot of their units before they release them. But yeah. Fundamentally, you could call that a nerf. That is fair. All right, guys, it's been real. Thanks for hanging out with the balance patch discussion. I'd love to stay on and stream longer, but I'm crushed this Friday. Phones are ringing off the hook. I think everybody's realizing it's a long weekend over here in the States with Memorial Day, so they're trying to get all their work done last minute, and they're calling me to do it for them. So I'm going to take care of this. I'll get a video up on the balance patch notes. Hopefully Charles is a diamond in the rough. Not sure. But if you have any questions, jump into my Discord, !Discord, or it's linked in the description of the videos or in my Twitch, and I will try to answer you as best I can. If I don't answer you, don't take it personal. It's because I suck at responding to DMs and have the attention span of a goldfish. Just send the DM a second time. You want to hurt my feelings, just badger me until I freaking respond. It's the way it's going to work. All right, guys, let's find a place to raid you off into, and I'm going to go get some food and get to work. Who is playing Epic 7 right now? Yo, I don't know what I don't know exactly what Dim Sum is doing, but that's a little suspect. Oh, who we got? French, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, French, Spanish. We rated those two recently. You know what? I gotta find out. I gotta find out what Dim Sum's doing. So everybody go say hi to Dim Sum for sale. So this is happening. This is happening. All right, guys. I will catch you guys next time around. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. I'll catch you guys next time. Sean, put Abyssal Crown on her if you have it. If not, any artifact that boosts effectiveness and or drops debuffs would be ideal. Peace.